Come in.
Well, if it isn't the poster child for Overachievers Anonymous.
Oh, this is nothing. Only life and death evaluations on my intern. Hey, it's good to see you back up here.
That's because one of said interns finally took your advice to get some counseling.
Oh, really? Who was smart enough to follow my advice?
Eve Lambert. Does the offer still hold to use your office?
Yeah, it certainly does.
Oh, I'll come back.
No, please, stay. I just heard that you were smart enough to start sessions with Dr. Collins.
Yeah, well, he's paying me to do it.
Oh, don't be embarrassed by it. I'm impressed. First year here is very difficult, and therapy can help.
Oh, so, are those the 6-month evaluations?
Yes, they are.
Are they finished?
Some. You know the CIA teaches its personnel to read papers upside down on a desk? You can read yours when it's in your file. Of course, you will get to hear evaluations discussed by the doctors who wrote them at a review session.
Why doesn't that cheer me up?
Oh, come on now, don't worry about it. It's not a firing squad. We look at both the negative and the positive. For instance, the fact that you are the first intern taking advantage of Dr. Collins' sessions is worth brownie points. She's all yours.
Thanks. Brownie point.
Ooh.
Well, the prosecution has sure been good at smearing you.
Well, I should have joined the Boy Scouts when I was a kid.
You, a Boy Scout? Idea boggles the mind.
Well, if I'd known my past was going to haunt me like this.
Well, hindsight's always 20/20, Scott.
And there goes Conklin. I bet he made it all the way up to being an Eagle Scout.
Put a lid on it, will you?
I will, when the time comes, but until then, I'm a little hopped up.
Well, he probably thinks he's doing
He
a good job.
doesn't think. He's a knucklehead. I can't believe that he would believe this frame.
Rex did a number on him. But don't worry, we'll get Mr. Stanton yet.
And well, I got a newsflash for you. Conklin works for the FBI. If he bought this fairy tale, what do you think the jury is going to think?
Oh.
Here we go.
Thanks, honey.
Where are Kevin and Lucy?
I got water.
Sorry.
I don't know where Kevin is, but I think Lucy is at a photo shoot with Brenda.
Well, I heard she and Kevin were at each other's throats yesterday after the court proceedings.
Well, Lucy has been very temperamental lately. She must be under a lot of stress.
Lucy is stressed.
Well, I'm sorry Kevin isn't here, because we need all the support we can get. Good for morale. Makes a nice impression on the jury.
Yeah, well, we'll be all right. We got family here. Hi.
Oh, hi.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi, Karen.
Hey, Scott.
Thanks for coming. Joe, how you doing? Good. Thanks for coming.
Sure, it was the least I could do after you were there at the review board for me.
We have to get back to the hospital in a little bit, but we just wanted to show the flag.
I appreciate it. I'll see you.
How's he doing?
Well, he's not eating. He's not sleeping. He's not doing anything except coming here and listening to people say nasty things about him. I'd say he's doing great, considering.
Considering it's not just a felony charge, it's his daughter on the line, yeah.
Hey, how's it going?
Well, ready for another round of lies and distortion.
I wish I had killed him.
Jake,
Right.
come on.
Just a wish. Don't worry about it.
Well, there he is.
Don't look at him.
You know, I'm tempted to just walk right out of here, grab Serena, fuel up the plane, and fly to some outer island never to be seen or heard from again.
Oh, Scotty, and you could never come back again.
Well, would that be so bad, Gail?
Scotty, they would find you eventually. We'd be right back to square one.
Well,
and you'd be facing additional charges.
Well, they'd have to drag me off the island.
Hey, come on. Give me a break, will you? I have been known to win some cases in my time.
Well, you gotta win this one, because I am not gonna lose my daughter to that little freak of nature over there.
Why did I ever agree to this?
Well, I believe it was to help Scott.
I know that, but now everybody in the hospital is going to think that I'm having a nervous breakdown or something. God, I need to have my head examined.
That's what I'm here for. Besides, it's a good cover.
I know. Just as long as you know that I don't really need all this shrink stuff.
Fine. But you need to establish a pattern of coming to see me. That way, when Lucy and Scott and I convince the entire town that we hate each other's guts, you'll be our only link.
Ooh, I like that. Eve Lambert, co-conspirator.
I wouldn't take it too lightly. Look what happened to Danielle.
I'll be careful. I'm sorry, I just tend to joke sometimes when it's really inappropriate.
Way of easing the tension.
I guess. But don't worry. I'm going to do everything and anything that I can to help Scott get Serena back.
Same with Lucy and me.
You're worried about her, aren't you?
I think Rex Stanton is a lunatic. She can't afford to let her guard down, not even for a moment.
Well, don't you worry. This is the first time that anyone has ever trusted me, and I'm not going to blow it.
What kinds of cases do you normally handle? Presently, I'm assigned to the Missing Persons Division, kidnapping.
And in June of this year, what specific case were you working on?
That would be the Baldwin case.
The kidnapping of Serena Baldwin?
Yes.
What happened in that case?
Scott Baldwin contacted the Bureau with the story his daughter had been kidnapped.
Objection, Your Honor. The word story implies a falseness that has not been proven.
Sustained.
Can you rephrase that response, Mr. Conklin?
Certainly. Mr. Baldwin contacted the FBI, stating his daughter had been kidnapped.
And what else did he say?
He suggested that the perpetrator was the woman who served as the child's surrogate mother.
And that would be?
Lucy Coe.
But didn't she turn out to have an alibi?
That's correct.
So the child was missing, and your one suspect was cleared.
Yes.
What happened next?
We decided to wait for a ransom note.
And at this time, how would you describe Mr. Baldwin's demeanor?
Contrary.
Contrary as in?
As in, not very helpful, nor was he cooperative.
Not grief-stricken? Not panicky? Oh, come on, Conklin, tell him I was going out of my mind.
Prosecution is leading the witness.
Mr. Baldwin, restrain yourself or I'll have you removed from the courtroom. Objection sustained. I've warned you about this before.
Yes, Your Honor. Can you give us an example of his non-cooperation?
Yes. We suggested to Mr. Baldwin that he go public with photographs of his daughter, place them on flyers and posters, and release this information to the media.
But he didn't?
No, he wanted to keep this a private matter, despite the fact that he had no evidence at the time that this abduction was for money.
At what point did you first become aware of a ransom note?
That was later. I recall it arrived on a Friday. And of course, we turned that right over to Mr. Baldwin.
Was there anything peculiar about this note?
Yes, there was. It specifically called for a 10-day waiting period before we delivered the ransom money.
Why is that unusual?
Well, in my experience, kidnappers are not particularly patient people, and they usually want their money right away.
I see. So, what happened during this 10-day wait?
Mr. Baldwin secured $5 million in diamonds, had them sewn on a dress, and then deposited in a trash can.
Without informing the FBI?
Without informing the FBI, that's correct.
I had to keep it a secret. That's what the kidnappers told me to do.
It's all right, son.
No, it's not all right. Now tell the truth, Conklin. The kidnappers threatened to kill my daughter.
Order! Order!
Stedman in 608 has Gillian Bray. Let's get him on prednisone immediately. And put Mrs. Lawrence on cefazolin 4. She's 6 months pregnant. We can't risk anything stronger. Thanks. Mom, what are you doing here? Just watching you. I'm very proud of you. Thanks. I came to say goodbye. Where are you going? Home. The only reason I came here was because you were in danger. Now that I know you're safe, there's no point in my staying in Port Charles. But nothing's settled. Julie, I am tired of the turmoil. I'm tired of hearing about your father's affair and trying to explain about Chris and me. Are you sure this isn't some sort of avoidance? Well, it probably is. But it'll give you a chance to get on with your life. To think of yourself as more than Bennett Devlin's daughter or Buddy's sister or my little girl. Does this mean you're putting the divorce on hold? No. I'm going through with it. Your father and I have been through too much and hurt each other too badly to turn back. He doesn't seem to feel that way. Well, he says he doesn't, but I think in time he'll see the wisdom of it. Just remember, whatever happens between your father and me, we will always be your parents and there for you if you need us. We may not love each other anymore, but we will always love you.
What did your mother want?
To say goodbye. She's going back to Chicago.
That's what she always does. When there's a problem, pack up, run away. New York, Aspen, London, doesn't matter. Anything to avoid a confrontation.
I don't believe that's what she's doing. I believe she's running towards something. Her own life.
That's ridiculous.
Dr. Mullen to orthopedics. Dr. Christopher Mullen to orthopedics.
Miss, I'm sorry.
You shouldn't have allowed your mother to leave.
I couldn't stop her. I'm not her keeper.
All you had to do was ask her to stay. She'd do anything for you.
I did ask her. She said no.
You can't cure the patient if you let him check out of the hospital. No, hey, listen to me. You want to be a good doctor, you remember that.
Dr. Cronk.
Dr. Morris?
Yes?
Being a first-year intern requires that you spend all your available time concentrating on your work. Yet you spend almost as much time visiting with your family as you do with your cases.
It wasn't my idea for him to join the staff.
Nevertheless, it's time for you to become more conscientious.
I will.
See that you do.
Dr. Canelos to 713 East. Dr. Mullen.
Well, it's good to see you finally seeking professional help for those deep-seated emotional problems of yours.
Actually, Dr. Collins was quite surprised that I decided to take him up on his offer. You see, he said that I was the most well-adjusted person on the staff. Oh, however, he did say that there was one wacko intern who really needed to come and see him for help.
Must have been referring to Scanlon.
No, I don't remember. Oh, I remember. It was you. Yeah. He said that you needed to come and see him before you lost yourself to your dark side.
Dr. Smith, 50.
Julie, I gave another medication to Mr. Stedman in 608. Why? Well, I put him on cimetidine. I'm sure you probably weren't aware that he had a history of ulcers, and the prednisone you gave him could cause a GI bleed. How dare you meddle with one of my patients? Meddle? I could have saved your patient's life. You are a bad dream that just won't quit. You broke up my parents, and now you're after me. What are you going to do? Run tell Burgess that I made a mistake so she can put it on my evaluation? You know what? I could have, but I decided to take it up with you personally. My mistake.
Jules, relax. It's okay.
You two deserve each other. What a match set, immoral losers. Oh, get a grip. You are losing it big time, all right? And not just your family, but your career, too. Yeah, I had a life until she ruined it.
Julie, calm down.
Get away from me. I thought you were my friend.
For once, Eve's right.
Now, what is going on?
We were just discussing different therapeutic approaches. Got a little out of hand. I'm
You know,
sorry.
do you think that you can remember that you are in a hospital? And save the yelling for the sports bars?
Next time you decide to throw a hissy fit, you leave me out of it.
Okay. How did it go in the courtroom today?
Horrible.
Oh, that good.
Yeah, you know how they have these law shows on TV?
Yeah.
It's like these three-ring circuses where the witnesses are always breaking down and crying. Well, I gotta tell you, in real life, it is pretty cut and dry.
They had this FBI agent. He got up on the stand, and he testified that Scott didn't seem upset when Serena was kidnapped.
What? That was about the time that I met your father, and he was a complete basket case.
Yeah, I know. You know it, I know it, but this man wears a badge.
Well, Scott's father will just take him apart on the cross.
Eve, I don't think he cracks that easily on the stand.
I hate what's happening to Scott. New subject. Cheer me up.
Okay. Well, I've signed up for therapy with Dr. Conklin. See? I knew that would get a laugh. But I only told you because Karen is so needy.
Shut up. I am not. But why are you signed up?
Well, I'm brown-nosing. You should have seen Dr. Burgess. She practically fell all over herself when she found out that I signed up for therapy.
Why do I think that there's more of a reason than that?
What? It'll make an honest woman out of me.
Good luck.
Oh, come on. That's not that funny. It could happen.
I'm sorry. It's just I needed to laugh.
Thank you. I'm glad I could do that for you. Anyway, I think that it's really Julie who needs therapy.
Julie.
Yeah. Her mother left town, went back to Chicago. She threw a fit at Chris and me in front of Burgess.
Just before evaluations. Oh, no.
That's not a good idea.
Yeah. Well, I imagine that going in front of the evaluation committee is going to make all of us interns feel like we're on trial.
Agent Conklin, you testified that when you suggested to Mr. Baldwin that he go public with pictures and flyers and milk cartons, that sort of thing, that he declined. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Do you always go public with kidnap cases?
No, not always.
Oh, why not?
There are certain circumstances that preclude that approach.
Circumstances like a threat to kill the victim if you do?
Yes.
I wonder why you forgot to mention that in your previous testimony when you were so quick to criticize Mr. Baldwin for his inaction.
Objection?
Withdrawn. And that wasn't a question. It's just an observation.
Your Honor.
Mr. Baldwin.
I beg your pardon, Your Honor. Agent Conklin, did you have any knowledge of Mr. Baldwin receiving some secret instructions to pay $5 million to keep his daughter from getting killed?
So he says.
Just yes or no, please. Now, the prosecution has failed to produce any evidence to indicate that these instructions were a fabrication of Mr. Baldwin's. And therefore, Mr. Baldwin's actions, instead of being uncooperative, as you put it, might actually have been the action of a terrified parent being bullied into compliance. Now, isn't that a possibility?
Yes, that's a possibility.
Yes, now, you've seen parents of other kidnapped children, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
They all behave the same?
No, but in the case...
Well, Mr. Baldwin's behavior, then, which you described as contrary, could actually have been that of a man who was worried about his daughter's safety, couldn't it?
Mr. Baldwin was secretive and erratic. His behavior was consistent with that of a drug user.
I object and move to strike, Your Honor. Those words are speculative and without foundation.
Sustained. Agent Conklin, do not elaborate on your answers.
It's not speculation, Your Honor. We have evidence suggesting that Scott Baldwin is an addicted, habitual drug user.
I object, Your Honor.
Come on, Conklin.
Say that in this courtroom.
You know that. I've never done any drugs. I'm a parent.
Tomorrow, watch an all-new holiday special from the creators of the California Raisins. It's the online adventures of Ozzie the Elf, followed by an all-new computer-animated spectacular Santa versus the Snowman. Then, see the amazing stories of real people who wished for a miracle and got it. It's an all-new holiday celebration, Christmas Miracles, ABC Saturday. Will Tim's lie drive Trevor and Janet apart for good? Watch what happens on All My Children today.